Hello, this is Deo. Sometimes incentives that employers put in place in order to help motivate or inspire employees, sometimes they become a negative thing. And I've experienced this in a lot of the workforce work that I've done throughout my career. Even prior to starting my own consulting company, I used to work for a competency education program for 3.5 years where we got all of our students from employer partners from businesses like Panera Bread, McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, UPS, Sodexo, ConAgra Food. I remember one time we were working with a group of students from Panera Bread, and they were super excited. They were all like mid-level managers and supervisors that were stuck in their career ladder because they didn't have a degree, so they were working really hard to try to finish their degree through our program so they can move up. I realized in the beginning of the program, because I was part of the student success team where we were doing education coaching for the students, getting to know them in order to understand how to keep them motivated so they can reach their goal, and coming up with coaching competencies in order to help scale our program so we can hire more coaches that will support these students. But one thing I realized from the students was when they were going through a hard time at work, that would also equate to their schoolwork, not just in the sense of not having enough time or schedule issues, but in terms of them feeling motivated to actually do the schoolwork. There were times where I would coach the students and say, hey, what's going on? And when we were unpacking things, right, we come to find out that they have a negative perspective and point of view of their employer during that time, or if it's that week or if that season. But that also equates to their ability to feel motivated to do the schoolwork because they felt like the opportunity that was presented, it was really more about the employer than it was for them. So I spend a lot of time coaching them through the process, helping them to understand that them pursuing getting their degree is something that's going to fulfill them. And it's a skill that they're earning that could be utilized beyond working at Panera Bread. And so even though the opportunity was an amazing thing where tuition was being taken care of, I saw that intersection of like a good thing, a good incentive, like getting your college degree where your employer is paying for it, but in result of a negative experience, that also equated in the student's motivation. The other end now, in terms of the work that I do now, working with different partners, I've also see how incentives sometimes work against the intended purpose. So for instance, there's a partner that I work with. They've been incredible in providing incentives to their employees. But sometimes when the employees see the incentive, in the area where they have gaps, they said, hey, it's great that we got this or we got that, but all I was looking for was a thank you after a crazy snowstorm that we had and we had a team of people that went out, or after an event that we put together. So it's like, it's really important for leaders who are implementing these incentives to be able to get the feedback of the employees in order to ensure that your incentive is going to be meaningful. And then also understanding the different season, how employees might view the incentives if there's certain things that are more important to them that they're not getting. Because you want to maximize on what you're putting forward, what you're trying to do to try to reward the employees in order to motivate them and have them be more engaged. So as a leader, it's really important to not take it for granted. Always have an opportunity to hear feedback from the employees pertaining to the incentives that you put in place and how they're perceiving it and how they're impacting. Because at the end of the day, some of these incentives cost a lot of money. And if it's not being perceived positively, then it's defeating the purpose of you implementing this incredible resources that you're putting forward. So that's a little bit of feedback around being intentional in getting the employees' feedback when it comes to the deployment of incentives and the impact that it's making. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you.